Okay. This is the story of Charlie the Spider, part 2. Once upon a time, there was a spider named Charlie who lived deep, deep, deep in the forest. And what was very, very peculiar about Charlie was that he only had a body, no legs. In his past, Charlie had been very, very, very greedy and ate his own legs to try to get to a fly in his web. It's a long story, so you'll have to listen to part 1 to fully understand Charlie. But Charlie is a very interesting spider. He lives deep in the forest with no legs. And he just sits on his web waiting. His web was very, very raggedy and not very neat because it's hard for him to build a web with no legs. But he tries. Every night he tries. He fails, but he tries. One day, Charlie was sitting in his raggedy web, and one of his friends, a mosquito, came by to say hello. Now, the mosquito is only his friend because Charlie doesn't like mosquitoes. He doesn't think they taste very good. He thinks they are a little on the sour side. So, his friend the mosquito came over. His name was Marvin. Marvin the mosquito came flying over. Charlie's like, "Hey, Marvin." Marvin says, "Hey, Charlie. What you doing?" Ha ha ha. I guess I shouldn't even ask you that. You're always doing the same thing. You're just sitting because you're just ahead. Charlie wasn't amused. Charlie said, "First of all, I'm not just a head. I do have a body as well. Second of all, yes, I'm sitting here waiting on food to come by." Marvin said, "Well, even if food came by, Charlie, you really can't eat it. You can't even get to it. What are you going to do? Roll over to it?" Charlie said, "Well, I could roll over." Marvin just laughed. "Okay, Charlie, good luck with that." And he flew off. Well, that really, really put Charlie in a funk. He's thinking, wow, no wonder I'm so hungry. I really haven't been able to eat anything because I can't get to the food when it goes in the web. Just then, he felt a tingle on his web. So he looked, and just far away on his raggedy web, just over a leaf, he could see that he had a very good-looking treat. Yeah, it was a big, fat beetle. Not sure how that beetle got in there, but Charlie was happy because it was big and fat. So he just knew he could get a lot of nutrients out of that beetle. So Charlie thought about what Marvin had said. What are you going to do? Roll over to it? Charlie said. Maybe, to himself, he said, maybe I should just roll over to it. So, with all his might, and every power he had in his head and his body, he took a deep breath and he rolled and rolled and rolled, and he had realized when he opened his eyes he had gotten anywhere. He was in the same spot. Charlie said. Well, that didn't work. How am I going to eat that nice looking succulent beetle? So by this time, the beetle had looked over and saw Charlie. And although he couldn't really move out of that raggedy web, he saw that Charlie couldn't move either. So he started taunting him. Hey, head spider. Spiderhead. Spiderhead. Hey, Spiderhead. What are you gonna do? I'm over here in your raggedy web. Spiderhead, you hear me talking to you. Hey, Spiderhead. Well, Charlie did not like that. He got angrier and angrier every time he said it. Spiderhead, he would get mad. Spiderhead, hey, Spiderhead. He was getting furious. But he couldn't do anything. He couldn't move. Now, what you don't know about Charlie is Charlie was actually sort of a mean spider before he lost his legs. So he really didn't have any spider friends to help him out either. And the only reason why he was still alive is because every now and then an ant would crawl right on his nose and he would be able to eat. That was the only way. Because he didn't look like a spider. He didn't look like a spider to the ant because he's only a head and a body. So every now and then he'd get lucky. But he was tired of eating ants. And then he would only get an ant every couple of days. So he was ready to eat that beetle. Especially after he called him Spiderhead. So Charlie wanted to devise a plan of how he could get that beetle in his spider head. So, tune into part 3 to find out how Charlie, or if Charlie, got to the beetle. Good night.